Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Bumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.
What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the Con Man, and I am in your house. And you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And that is exactly what we are here to do. Is we are back here on a Sunday fun day, a little snow on the ground, but the mic is hot as always when it comes to In Your House. And guys, we got a whole lot of wrestling to talk about. And when I have a whole lot of wrestling to talk about, I don't like to just talk by myself, like it's fun. Like I talk to myself and he talks back. We have a pretty good conversation, but you bring a little bit more in the mix, besides just me, myself, and I. Because, I like to bounce off of people that love what I love, and that's professional wrestling. And when I do that, I usually have my great team with me. And usually when I bring my great team, I bring this man on first because, man, we've been doing a whole lot of work over on Fridays, guys, and that is our ECW watch along, ladies and gentlemen. Such a big part of what we're doing here In Your House, and I can't do it without the educator of extreme himself. That's the voice, Josh Joseph. What is up, man?
How goes it, household? How goes it, house? How are you doing, my friend? And anybody out there who's a chaos goblin, anybody who's Grun's friends, my friends, any window lickers out there, it's so goddamn good to be back in front of your eyeballs and hitting them eardrums with this voice. You hear it. I know it's not Friday, but you hear that beautiful song. We got a lot of things in the works and a lot of the shows, so stay tuned to this channel because your balls are going to be lit on fire 2025. Just boom. Hey, real quick, you answer yourself when you talk to yourself?
Do you not do that?
No. I've always been told that's crazy. That's just
to
you. That's what I've been told if you answer yourself back. But hey, I won't let him take you, house.
O'Con has been known to talk to himself every now and again, but not today. Not today. I get to talk to my awesome friends here, like the voice Josh Joseph. But we talk about Fridays. Let's talk about Mondays. And on Mondays, you do an awesome show that's called Window Lickers, and you have on some great co-hosts there. He also does work on Friday. He talks some of Smackdown previews that he hangs out in his room. That's the blue-eyed villain himself, Grunmeister, here at In Your House. What is up, man?
Yo, what is up? It's Friday. It's football day, but we ain't talking football today. Today we are talking some pro wrestling.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a great time, great conversation to be had. And usually here on a Sunday, we got another cat that comes on over here and he hangs out, and sometimes he'll be doing his own thing. It's always Smokey in High Philadelphia. He'll be smoking, playing video games. But hopefully with everything that's been going on in this last week, we can get him to lock in, man, because we got to talk some Raw on Netflix. That is Hypocrisy Jones, the producer of the show. What is up, brother, man?
What up out there? What up, household man? You already know it's always smoky in Hypadelphia, bro. I always got something lit or I'm lighting some sort of flame. I be talking to myself, obviously, because
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Like Kevin Gates said that or some shit. And if you don't fuck with Kevin Gates, I don't know. I don't know. I know we got a whole lot to talk about. We're still coming off a Raw on Netflix, a huge NXT, Smackdown, some kind of big AEW news. I don't know how to feel about it, but like, and it's not just us. We have more people.
I know you got more too.
Right.
And I love it because always more room on Sundays for people to come and chat with us. And
come on,
they are coming off of a big show themselves, Divine Pro Wrestling. They really do their thing over there. And now they're going to come and talk to us off of that show. And they're going to talk a little Raw on Netflix. You can catch this man on Mondays with my man Voice, my man Grun. And he does this thing on Window Liquors. And then, guys, you already know when it's time to get Raw, you got to come and talk to me and Annie O'Neill. She's Divinely Designed. They're going to come and talk to us over here about their show and Raw on Netflix and everything going down in the week of wrestling. Kevin and Annie, what is up?
What up?
What's up, Divine Pro? What's up, guys? What's going on?
Hey, I know we're not talking football today, but I appreciate that you came with your Lions colors on, House.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I guess I did. Hey,
it's subconsciously programmed. Thank you. Thank you. Go Lions.
I got some. It's comfortable too. Also very comfortable.
There you go.
Jared Goff.
I need to talk to HR. This is some hate talk. And, I'm gonna have to pull
Whenever
that.
I see a Chicago Bear meme, I just wonder what your reaction would be.
Oh, I said
it. That's all you got to do is just be like, he hates this.
And I revel in it.
Hey man, you guys beat the Packers at the end, so that's something.
You know what? I'm gonna save my sensitive insults for when we're not, or my unsensitive insults.
Save it for tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll save it for window listeners.
There we go. Love it.
As an Eagles fan, I promise we will destroy the Packers for you.
That's true. That's accurate though.
I feel like
is that the mid-afternoon? Is that the 4:30 game?
Yeah, that's 4:30.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be one to watch. Most definitely see what happens with that. But guys, we got to stay here and talk some professional wrestling because, I mean, a lot of stuff happened this past week. Raw on Netflix was huge. And like, I didn't really want to, even though I know it's almost like a week ago about a week ago, it's about that time. But I understand that, you know, we have a lot of our team here that haven't got a chance to react to it. And I definitely want to get some of those reactions at the end of the show here. We got a big event that we're going to be unveiling and talking about. That's going to be awesome for our local community over here in the household, the city of Indy. And it's great to be back, y'all, to see these faces here virtually. It's great to be back. Great to have our audience back, our household. You guys know where you can check us out at. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you get your major podcast at. We are on Twitch. We're all there. Tell people about us. Let them know because we got some big things in the works. But WWE most definitely had big things in the works with this debut of Raw on Netflix. And whether it be things like The Rock, who is now officially a high chief, presenting the Ula Fala to the one original OTC tribal chief, Roman Reigns, whether it was Travis Scott, gone high as hell, high as a kite, over with Jey Uso.
I can't believe marijuana made its Raw debut.
That is insane.
It's about damn time.
And Travis Scott's not done with WWE. There's still plans.
Well, there's a whole
love
hardcore title to defend.
Yeah, I want to
He
see him
hasn't-
get
he
hit
hasn't
with
defended
something.
it.
I-
Yeah,
I-
get some
If
action.
I'm
Get
slighted about anything, it's that. It's like I wanted something to happen with a hardcore title, and I didn't get that yet. So like,
I'm there with you, man. You
Scott
can't-
connection to WWE is
I think he's just
some type of business connection or
I don't think so. I
he's
think
just a fan.
okay. See,
he's just a fan.
I love that. I
people
love that
kill
we're
themselves
now.
trying to get to see Travis Scott.
mm-hmm.
Too soon. Might
I
be too
didn't hear
soon.
what
I
you
don't
said.
I said people kill themselves trying to see Travis Scott.
I have.
You need to go somewhere.
true, though.
That's accurate though.
You need to go somewhere. You need to go somewhere that is not here.
I am sure. I can assure
Man.
you, I am probably going there.
Jones, I usually jump on board with your really cool sayings of that one, but I don't know, man. That one seems kind of like
What?
That's gonna get us
Is it too much? Did y'all see
Yeah,
that?
I think so.
I don't know. Sorry,
Listen.
I'll try to lighten it up a little bit. Did you guys see
You
the
wanna talk
beta
about
testing that they did for GTA 6 in Vegas and New Orleans?
No.
That was wild. Oh, somebody got
What
it.
is wrong with this man?
Oh my god.
What is wrong with this man?
Oh my god.
Send
My
all
bad.
your hate mail to
Oh my
Hypocrisy Jones.
This man is a wild man.
I had
Watching
this shit.
our
That
report
was
on
absolute
there.
menace. What?
Holy
man?
shit. That was
What,
crazy.
man?
All right. We want to talk about things that got people talking. Since this man wants to talk about things, get people talking. That's exactly what Hype wants to do. My God.
He did the job. He did.
He
what-
did just that.
He did
But
it.
Wow.
listen,
What?
one thing that came
What'd
out
I
of Raw
say?
that everybody hold on. One thing that came out of Raw that everybody was talking about was Hulk Hogan getting his ass booed out of LA. That was
Oh.
ridiculous.
Did
Holy
see him
hell.
once?
Terry
Like,
Bollea.
Holy hell.
No idea. Like it was like his bubble of ignorance was popped, and it was almost like when you finally see someone receiving their consequences and they are truly out of touch with their own actions. It's interesting because he truly had no idea how people feel about him.
Well-
It's definitely against my business practices to comment on a legend like that, but I can't say it wasn't something you could predict.
No, it
You
was
gotta
completely
know what your
predictable.
audience is, and in that moment, I don't think they did.
But in LA of all places,
That's why.
like, you don't read the internet.
That was
But-
my
read
thing.
comments.
Here's the thing though. He has put himself in a bubble of
Mhm.
love for Hulk Hogan. He stays in Florida. He stays in the
Yeah.
southern
Yes.
wrestling
Mhm.
areas where
And
Maybe
people
he
are
should
just
stay
like
in Florida.
they're driving to his fucking place and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we love you, Hulk Hogan." So he has this 1990s view about himself before everything that came out about him.
That's
And
true.
Tell him.
if you follow him
Tell him,
today,
boys.
he's still fixing those bubbles that have holes in them, and he doesn't believe that he got booed this much, and he was there. He was the one receiving the fucking boos. So either he turned down the hearing aids and he couldn't hear it, or that bubble is just so big and so soundproof that and this is coming from a dude who, one of my favorite great uncles up until the day he died, still called me Hulk because I ran around as a child pretending I was Hulk Hogan, and that's how he seen me. I love this dude. But when I found out the information of how he was and how he treated people that I really liked, I was like, you know what? Fuck this dude. There's no point in liking him anymore. And when people drive these miles away to go to his things and they show up and they pay the conventions to meet him and shit, until that dies, he's not going to die.
And it's interesting that you bring up the bubble because I think that happens
Wow.
to a lot of people in the
Exactly.
entertainment industry specifically.
Oh,
I
God,
hear it
yeah.
I hear that perspective from a lot of people from like old 80s and 70s wrestling, like territory days wrestling, because now they're doing the conventions and the only cross section that they really see are the people that come to see them or are just like indifferent to them. It's not the people that hate them. It's not the other stuff. They only see the love. So they have this idea in their head that it's all love, and they're still having this like not career resurgence or anything, but like they are still fondly remembered, and like that and I've seen quotes by quite a few people. Actually, I think one of these was actually Hulk Hogan, was the wrestling community is very forgiving, which is generally true. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that don't forget either. So
we forgive people who realize their mistakes and correct them. We don't forgive people who just sit and go, well, we just won't talk about that.
That also means that corrected action needs to take place too. Like, just because you say I'm sorry, if your behavior doesn't change, then those are just words.
Right.
Yeah. Because even outside of wrestling, what was he had something, I think it was to do with his beer. And the one young model, she was a young black girl, and he took her off of it, and he switched himself. And this was after the fact that it's been brought to his attention all the shit he did. So he continued to do it, which made me even get more infuriated with the dude, because it's like, dude, you made wrestling something back in the day. Like, you made people want to tune in to watch what you were going to do. And then for us to find out this is how you are as a person, and for you to give us a fake apology and then continue the action outside of a ring, screw you, Hulk Hogan. I'm with the Sheik. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan.
Listen, hey, I wanted to add something to that, and it's going to just add to your fire, honestly, because this added to mine. And I don't know if you guys heard this or read this, but there was a TMZ interview with Mark Henry, and Mark Henry offered Hulk Hogan to take him to black colleges, black law schools and stuff, so that way he can, start basically like a tour to try to better understand and go, try to make amends with the community men fences and stuff. And he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. He said no. He turned it down.
Look, so I said my prayers. I ate my vitamins. I even had a yellow Hulk Hogan folder when I was a little kid, and I loved that folder. And I watched fucking Saturday Night Main Events and WCW, and then I found out that this man has no problem slinging the hard ER, and doesn't get it. I'm thankful for Hulk Hogan, because like he made me realize there probably ain't no heroes. There ain't no real there's no people that you should really look up to. And the irony is I appreciate that, because I'd rather this shit be in my face and me not be oblivious to it than it just go on and me act like it's cool. There's a whole laundry list of things that Hulk Hogan has done and probably will continue to do, and I really don't want any part of it. I said this before in a various podcasts. I don't get this move with WWE and Hulk Hogan because you have Stone Cold Steve Austin literally right there.
What if he undercut the money, though?
And probably that is probably something that happened.
It's got to be business related. It has nothing to do with Hogan.
Yeah, it's a shiesty thing, and I don't even know if Hulk Hogan is majority owner of this beer. This could be a beer that's owned from Coors or some shit, and they made the bad decision. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, he's the face. But listen, Hype, to your point, because remember, we talked about this, right? We talked about this on Pope's show.
Yes.
We both agree that Stone Cold hits the same demographic that they're wanting to hit for Hulk Hogan, but it would hit in a different way. But it's the same demographic.
Well, you got to remember though, in this it's the Hogan beer that would be paying WWE. So if they have a bigger backer behind them, then they are getting way more business from having that money get to them. Because if Stone Cold self owns his beer, he only has so much as an advertising budget. But if Hogan is backed by, again, a Coors Light or a Busch or anything like that, they have infinite money.
still find that weird. This seems like, I don't know, man. I don't
But
know.
look
If you're
how
wanting
many-
to get into an alcoholic market, you're wanting to appeal to a more adult base centric thing with your wrestling, with your advertisements, and we see this. I mean, I know they have Fortnite right there, which is kind of weird, but you also have Netflix, and we all know that means Netflix and make a baby, and then you have a beer company. You're wanting to appeal to everyone, right? You're wanting to appeal to everyone. I think someone who is going to appeal to literally everyone. Like I don't know very many people that are like, man, I hate Stone Cold. Man, Steve Austin can suck a dick. I don't hear that very much.
No, you don't.
Nah.
Deborah doesn't do interviews.
There we go.
Oh,
Sorry.
And Stone Cold may not be perfect, but like I think his reputation stands for himself because there ain't nobody talking no shit about him. It hasn't been.
Ooh.
And when are we gonna learn? Hey, we keep throwing this dude out there to the sharks. One day these sharks are gonna fucking eat him.
Well, it's starting.
Could that be the goal? Totally.
I don't
That's
think so.
okay.
It's a conspiracy theory thought, but
It.
All I'm saying, listen, I want Grun to get his
they're
thoughts
still
out.
getting his money. They only care
Yeah.
about the bottom line.
True,
Yeah.
but like
See
to
that?
say that it was a setup. Hey, listen, man, there might be some legs there because you put that dude there in LA. Like, and listen, all I'm saying is this. They did not boo Undertaker. Undertaker had Trump all up on his podcast
Yeah.
No,
and made
wasn't
his he made his political affiliation clear, but people were still able to
Separate
tell
it.
the difference.
Yeah.
Do you think if Hulk
Excuse
Hogan
me.
came out on like this first ever Raw on Netflix in like, I don't know, somewhere in like Lexington, Kentucky or
Yeah.
Georgia?
probably would have hit different. Probably
That's
Yeah.
what
would
I'm
have hit.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Run,
But like,
Run,
yeah.
is that what
LA
you
of
think,
all
Run?
places, like,
It's because of its name and his legendary value. Like we see Hogan, and like, you know what? I'm very okay with the history and the lineage and what the immortal Hulk Hogan stood for, circa sometime in the 80s, towards the mid 90s, right? Super
Yeah.
down with that. It's just everything after that, right?
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Um,
sure.
So like seeing him on WWE television, or like as far as like the opening graphics and stuff goes, I'm okay with that, man, because that is history. That is real history. You don't want to erase that or anything like that. And his name brought mad power and a lot of money. And like Hulk Hogan laid groundwork that nobody else probably could have laid at the time. Terry Bollea laid groundwork.
That is definitely something
Mhm.
that's happened. I've seen this on the internet a lot. They're like, "Whoa, well, Hulk Hogan only got it because the machine got behind him." I don't think that that's true.
No.
I don't
And
think
I
that's
actually
true
had a
either.
question about that. Like, is this something that we can separate between the person Terry Bollea is as an individual and how his energy lent to the persona that is Hulk Hogan? Like,
I don't think so.
Sure.
So the big thing that for me, and the one thing that I really cannot let go of is the fact is back when he had his infamous match with The Undertaker, where Undertaker supposedly broke his neck with a tombstone pile driver, and it was revealed that Terry admitted that he lied because he didn't want, and that's. On one hand, that was just the attitude of that generation. It was you're going to take my spot. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to screw you over. And it's like, I can sort of look that over, but at the same time, it's like, you were Hulk Hogan. You were not a guy. You were not one of the, you were the guy. You were the number one. You should have set the standard. And your standard was screw everyone else over. And like, I want to believe that people can earn redemption. Like, but yeah, like Hulk Hogan is Hulk Hogan is a character that he plays on TV. I think people do need to understand that. But Terry Bollea, he seems like he's from a bygone age that did not age well.
Sure.
And
Sure.
That's a great point.
Solid. It sucks. Hulk Hogan's going to be in WWE Hall of Fame one day. I would rather it be before. I would rather be before he. I wait. Is he? Yeah, I think he is already.
He might already be there.
Yeah.
He might already.
I think I'm crazy. Yeah. But he is going. Hulk Hogan, the real American. He will be remembered as one of the greatest professional wrestlers. There's from the time that pro wrestling finally started taking off. But people are going to want to forget about Terry.
For sure.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's a great point. Listen, to pivot off of that, because of course we had to talk about that, let everybody get their thoughts and feelings out on that. But this was just a small smidge on a show that otherwise was a really great show, honestly. I mean, we talk about CM Punk, we talk about Seth Rollins and the battle that they had in the main event. Another thing that I wanted to bring up and get some thoughts on is the farewell tour of John Cena. I think that's another one of those things where everybody is just it's a big thing to be talking about. What is up, Lulu? Acknowledging the IYH bloodline over here. Happy Sunday, brother. But John Cena, he comes out, he pretty much cuts a promo saying, well, I think you guys should get it out of your mind of me getting number 17. I'm just here just to do my thing, get my last year going. And honestly, I don't want to be hopping the line. I haven't been here enough. But, there is the Royal Rumble. And we got a chance to see him declare for the Royal Rumble. And it really got me to thinking, guys, and I'm going to get everybody's thoughts here on it. We're going to have John Cena's last Royal Rumble. We're going to have CM Punk. He's going to be returning to the Royal Rumble after last year. I believe that's the match he got injured in. And then the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns
is going to cry.
Oh my god!
There's stuff the Cena's done outside WWE. I'm like, fuck him, screw him, I hate him. But the second that we got closer and closer to the Raw Netflix debut, I started I still have so much love for John Cena, because John Cena was the superhero that he was defending America from the asshole Kurt Angle when Kurt Angle was saying he was the greatest American hero of all time. John Cena was defending the WWE from Edge. He was defending the WWE from Vince McMahon. He was being Super Cena.
Nexus. He defended from Nexus. He was the hero that WWE has made him out to be to me. And
okay, Drew.
I did not understand how people would get so upset, so teared up over these Hall of Famers and everything, but now I see it. Now I see it. I understand it.
Earlier we talked, and I think it was Jones that said this. Our heroes to never look up to anyone because they might burn you. Mm-hmm. John Cena's done nothing but prove how genuine of a human being he is. True. Is he a particular person? Sure, but that's the worst thing you can say about him, really. Mm-hmm. Has he made some judgment calls that maybe didn't work out, like booking wise or something? Yeah, but he's always apologized for it or said he regrets it. Yeah. I don't think there's a single time that I can point at John Cena and say, oh my God, we can't support him because of this. It has never been that. And this man has done so much to give back to an industry and give back to just humanity, to give life lessons, to go on to everywhere to talk about anything he's experienced. This man is a genuine human being.
I enjoy John Cena. Oh, I'm so. I was gonna say I enjoy John Cena because he is one that has always seemed to own up to his faults, whether in character or out of character, and I think that's a genuine attribute that I always strive for myself. Like, I'm not perfect, right? And I'm gonna mess up some shit. And when I mess up some shit, I'm gonna be like, hey, I messed this shit up. And John Cena is kind of always been like that sort of person for me. If The Rock is my imaginary dad, like John Cena is my imaginary big brother, if that makes sense. So like,
I really can't wait for John Cena's season of Dancing with the Stars. It's going to be great.
Has he confirmed? Is he on?
I don't know. I'm just making a prediction here.
Yeah.
Hey, I can see it. I can see it.
It's gonna happen.
I might actually watch Dancing with the Stars if that happens. I've never watched it
Just
before.
proving John Cena is a draw once again.
Exactly.
You know what? You throw some wrestling people on some random shit, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. People are draws. I'm gonna watch it. Now, I didn't catch Miz when he was on Dancing with the Stars, but like I do remember I sought after highlights. So
yeah, true. Voice, where you at with John Cena, man? Because I thought it was, I felt that what Grun was feeling. I kind of felt that because like that man. Like I said, he's somebody who we've loved, who we've hated. I know there's times where I've hated him because he represented, WWE, the corporation, and he represented a direction that they were going in and continued to go in until they finally decided to, make NXT work and start to develop new stars. But for a while there, it was just everybody was just getting fed to Cena, and that's what it was. He was on top, absolutely. But to say that he hasn't contributed or hasn't done anything is just absolutely insane. Even when that man got accused of only having 5 moves, he would always try to add something to his arsenal to try to silence the haters. And he didn't cry about it. He didn't complain about it. He didn't bitch about it. He just kept trying to evolve and kept trying to push himself while still being himself. I appreciate John Cena for everything that he's brought to the table. And I'm definitely going to be having a close eye on everything that he does this next year, because with it being his last year, it's built up that intrigue of what could possibly happen. There's a lot of storylines that could be built with John Cena, and it looks like right now we're building towards him possibly trying to look for number 17. Voice, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, me and Grun discussed this last Monday when we did the Window Lickers Raw, and Grun he had a very passionate discussion about John Cena and his the way he's seen him through his childhood, which that really spoke to me because you get to see that. Now for me, I was the opposite. I was with you on a lot of that stuff when Cena came and he went after Kurt Angle. Grun, I'd like to remind you, Kurt Angle won Olympic gold medals with a broken freaking neck, so he is America. And Annie has spoken to Kurt Angle. Where's John Cena? Hey, John Cena, you want to play this game? You need to sit down with Annie and have a interview so we can even up the score and we can get a good tally going on there. But what I will say about John Cena, I do respect the fact of all the things he's done with a lot of the kids going through horrible things, a lot of humanity. He steps up when WWE needs somebody to go out there and lift somebody up from a devastating time, and John Cena has done that. I mean, he is the idea of what Hulk Hogan should have been. He was like the actual production of WWE from all the mistakes from Prototype over here. And I know John Cena used to be called Prototype, but that was, tongue in cheek there. Anyways, so I do appreciate John Cena for what he's done for the business, because damn it, I'm gonna say it, at that time, who else could have done what John Cena did? I mean,
do you guys think John Cena has achieved the level of stardom that Hulk Hogan has? Do you think that's comparable?
He surpassed it.
I think he has surpassed it at this point.
Yeah.
And
I
he surpassed it.
There's one thing I can point out, the whole Taiwan thing. That to me is something that I can be like very aggravated with John Cena over. But then when I sit back and I look at it, I can be like, you know what? It doesn't bother me. Whatever.
Can I be reminded what happened with the Taiwan thing? I'm kind of
John Cena said something somewhere where he acknowledged Taiwan as its own nation. China does not recognize Taiwan as a nation, and
then he got
Cena
pressure from China, and okay,
He had to make an
yeah.
apology.
Hey, and he
video.
buckled on it, but that feels like a business move, not a because it seems
And
like his personal opinion slipped, and then he had
Yeah.
to go back to business mode to get.
And
Trying to save it.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly what I come to when I think about that. That's why I can be like, that's not that big of a deal for me. But ultimately, John Cena's exactly what WWE was trying to make when they made a superstar, and one that they could use for generations upon generations. He doesn't. You never hear him talk negative about the WWE. Anytime they ask him to be somewhere, he's there. He makes accommodations to always represent the WWE in the best light possible. So this farewell tour, it's also got my mixed emotions with how I feel about superstars coming back and taking spotlights from people. I honestly think they're going to have him win the Rumble this year.
I don't think it'd be a
I
bad
don't think
move.
so.
I don't really see. You know what? I don't see too many other people to win it, like off the top of my head. And if you want to write a nice story to get a 17th title win out of him, or even just to tease it, not even give it to us, I think it's a compelling story to tell.
Yeah.
And as far as just to answer your question, even completely, Annie, of what the case for Cena versus Hogan is, and Cena being a larger star, I think Hogan brought it national. Rock and Austin made it a fervor nationally. But Cena brought it worldwide. It's global now because of Cena.
Yep.
I agree with that, Kevin. Good point.
Yeah.
I think Cena definitely helped in that global aspect, but in that vein, I think Rock helped catapult that globalness too. I think Cena was in the unique position to see the trajectory of everyone else and to see, hey, I need to do this. I don't need to do this. I need to do this. I think he was in a good mode to be like, this is the pathway that everyone set that was set before me. This is what I need to follow. That prototype element of John Cena, like it lived far beyond, that short-lived gimmick. You know what I mean?
Can I counter that though? Because Cena did it through just wrestling. The Rock did it through wrestling and movies. So I totally get what you're saying. I do. But when I'm comparing these two, I have to give it to Cena because it was purely on wrestling.
I would say that I agree with Voice on that, because at that point, once it started going globally, Rock was mostly in movies. He was coming back to give people wrestling rubs. So I'm not saying he didn't help, because as you build movies, you build, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So that's partly part of the wrestling. However, he didn't do it off of wrestling mostly. It was mostly off of acting.
That's a good point. And I want to stay with this Royal Rumble real quick, because you were talking about Cena could win the Royal Rumble. Another thing that I realized is that on SmackDown, you had Paul Heyman coming out and he was representing, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, and what his attention is going to be, moving towards WrestleMania. So we now know that Roman Reigns is going to be a part of the Royal Rumble match. And I did a little research on this. It's been 5 years since Roman Reigns has been in the Royal Rumble match. 5 years. Obviously, he hasn't needed to be he hasn't needed to be in the Royal Rumble because he's been champion. But I think it's interesting to note that it's been 5 years since he's been part of the Royal Rumble. So we already have CM Punk that's confirmed. We have John Cena that's confirmed, and we have Roman Reigns that's confirmed. Guys, that's already 3 guys that are legitimately, like, people were talking, that's the Rumble winner right there. So, like, let me throw it out there real quick. I'll start with you over here, Voice. You say Cena. With those names that I threw out there, are you sticking with Cena?
Yeah. It just makes so much more sense for his farewell tour to to actually brand a package, because what I see the WWE doing is trying to get rid of the old. And when you guys threw out the whole thing with Hogan, and maybe they're just putting him out there to kind of destroy him in the public eye, I kind of think it's the opposite with like what Cena's doing. You want to get that 17th. You want to become the next turn in it all. And with him getting the 17th title, I mean, that speaks mountains. That puts him in Rushmore talks. I mean, if you didn't have him before, that has to cement that. And I really think this is the play they're going with.
Yeah. I mean, he's teasing it. Obviously, it's well known. Everybody knows the story of him in number 17. But Grun, who do you got? You see exactly who's already declared. Who do you got for the Rumble at this stage?
I'm going to put my emotions aside and think what would be a better story, because I do think there are plans for at some point doing Seth Rollins and CM Punk at WrestleMania. If it's not going to be WrestleMania 41, it's going to be WrestleMania 42. So how do you do that? CM Punk can win the Royal Rumble, go on. Seth Rollins, maybe he finds a way to weasel in and make CM Punk's match, his main event match, his first WrestleMania main event, a triple threat. Right. And neither Punk or Seth need to win. All that needs to happen is that the champion retain.
I love that. Because CM Punk's one of his entire motives is to be within the main event of WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So if Rollins somehow screws him out of winning, even if he's a legal participant, like, he doesn't have to do it and turn heel. There's no reason to do that, I don't think.
Yeah. No.
All he has to do, all that would have to happen is if it's Gunther that's still the champ and it's a triple threat, a great match happens, and then all of a sudden CM Punk's got it in the bag, and Seth Rollins steals it from him. Like, Rollins doesn't even need to win the title. He just steals the opportunity from him.
And then, what do you think this would mean at Money in the Bank?
So I think what this would mean at Money in the Bank is, at Money in the Bank, I think that is where you put CM Punk and Seth Rollins both in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. CM Punk is the one that wins.
That's
and
what
then
I'm
you
thinking. I think Punk wins Money in the Bank.
I'm gonna argue opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not opposite to Rollins, but I'm arguing someone different for the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't put Cena over in the Rumble to get his title shot.
Ooh.
I mean,
You give him the Money in the Bank. That's how he jumps the line.
I'm thinking that he's going to win at Rumble, but who's going to win at Money in the Bank? That's what's going to carry out.
It at that point.
Everybody.
Here's another. Listen, I got something far out Hail Mary here, and that would be crazy. What if the story here is that Cena loses like every opportunity, like the quest for number 17, and he has until December to do it, because that's when the year is.
That's my thought process.
Okay.
So he loses the Royal Rumble. He loses at Elimination Chamber. He loses Money in the Bank. He maybe loses in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. And he gets one last shot effort at whatever December show they're doing. I wouldn't want to do it at a Saturday night main event, but I'm just thinking of the time of when his year would be.
Yeah.
He gets one last shot at the title for his final match. Boom, that's where he wins it. Vacates the title, yada, 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 number 17. And then they do like some John Cena tournament to crown the next world heavyweight champion. But that's long, like last ditch effort. I think that'd be a crazy
I really
thing.
like that idea.
Yeah.
Really, really. Because then what you can do, I don't want it to just be some last ditch where Cena's like, I got all I can't stand no more. We're almost at the end. And then they just gift him a title match. But if you have him lose through the first half of the year, all the way until he gets his first win back at SummerSlam.
Okay.
Then he goes on a winning streak. Now he's at the front of the line, and his shot comes at the end.
So do the fans...
That's actually giving me goosebumps.
How do they respond to this losing streak?
Probably negatively.
Yeah,
Probably.
for sure.
They're gonna get
And
behind
then-
Cena and they're gonna get pissy.
Then hit it with the redemptive arc before he's on his way out.
Yeah,
I think
There
so.
you go.
Yeah.
there you go.
That's really truly the only way to book a Cena farewell run is we've seen nothing but Super Cena, the man that can overcome the impossible for a very long time, and I think the way to book him is for him to continue to lose like he has been for a little bit. I'd love the idea of him winning in the Rumble, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he may be Final Four.
Could
in the
even be
Rumble.
final 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like
I can
putting him. I don't like putting him in Final 2 yet because I don't know how.
He's for certain in my final 3.
Could it be okay?
I can
Put
see
it a different way.
Roman-
'Cause they've done
I
this in
can
the
see
past with
Roman win.
Michaels when he was trying to go after Taker.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yep.
final 3, and then by happenstance got eliminated.
Right.
It wasn't by anyone else's actions. It was by happenstance that he couldn't grasp and like claw back into the ring.
Well, see, the 3 men Final 3 is fair because the 3 men that we were just talking about, Roman, CM Punk, and Cena, I could see
That
those.
could be a final 3 right there.
Yeah.
See that right there. I don't see CM Punk winning the Rumble because, like we've talked about, Seth Rollins. I don't think he's just gonna like take this L, right? None of us expect him to just take this L. So, if CM Punk's goal is to headline WrestleMania, let's take that away from him. Let's do everything in our power to take that away from him. Cena Roman Final 2 could be interesting. Roman overcomes Cena. Cena is devastated. All right, guys. I'm gonna keep working. Maybe he does I don't know what his schedule is like for this run, but maybe we see a couple of Cena open invitationals, right?
Yeah.
Where he comes through, he has some young guys. He wrestles, but he takes L's. And continues to take L's till about Money in the Bank, where then he somehow wins Money in the Bank, but does not feel right cashing in because of all the L's that he's taken.
Could do that.
So then goes on a small streak, cashes in right before his retirement. I see Cena winning the belt and vacating it because I feel like that's the only that seems respectable for Cena. And I know that doesn't happen
That
a
seems
lot.
like a very Cena thing to do.
It feels like I wouldn't book that for a lot of people. Like I didn't like that for Bryan Danielson in AEW. I felt like that was kind of weird. But like for Cena, I feel like this is it seems like a Cena thing.
I think because it's kind of like the reverse of how the industry usually works, which is you go out on your back so that you can put over the next guy. The machine keeps going. You know, there's more storylines to tell based on what you do. But if you're booking him to lose all the way up until he wins, he has already done that. So his win at the end won't feel as tainted because he's put over so many guys along the way.
I would like to see if that's the way that works out. And as far as with Roman winning, as far as CM Punk losing, CM Punk still owed a favor from either Paul Heyman or Roman Reigns in some capacity. So we will see I feel like we're gonna see a title change like before WrestleMania that will make more of this make sense.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to put over from the Raw on Netflix, I didn't trust Paul Heyman's greasy ass the entire time. Like there was just something going on in those beady little eyes and how he was just staring at Roman Reigns. I'm like, I don't trust you.
He's not to be trusted.
He's never gave us a reason to trust him.
Fully. I know, but like I see it like for I don't know, just a man who wears a suit like that. Like,
hey, listen,
I hear you guys. I hear you guys, and let me just like this entire time as the wise man, he has he has shouted to the heavens his love, his admiration, his respect for this Samoan dynasty, for everything that Sika has done for him. Well, he has specifically mentioned Sika. He has specifically mentioned Roman's father. He has specifically mentioned the ones that trained him, that taught him about the industry.
But which bloodline is paying with the most zeros and commas?
Right now, Roman Reigns.
Which one pays his phone bill? Or supplies?
I know, right? That's a good question.
If we're going down that thought line, though, like, what about Jacob? Fear is an incredible motivator.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
But as we saw, Paul Heyman's not afraid to say no to animals.
True.
He has said no, and he's taking the consequences of it too. So, you know, Paul Heyman definitely somebody interesting. And what you got, Hype?
I think Paul is definitely biding his time. He will definitely like pick his spot when he needs to. And you know, I'm sure Jacob looks mighty spicy over there, bro, and like looking like the future of the future. So like Paul Heyman, he has to like he's not a dumb guy, man. Yeah.
No, I still think there's a whole generation of Paul Heyman guys that can be made. I mean, I'm still salivating at the thought of Paul Heyman managing Jacob Fatu. I'm salivating at the thought of Paul Heyman managing somebody like Bronson Reed. Like that right there is like, whoo, that could really be. It's great because it's great for Jacob at this juncture in his WWE career. It's great for Bronson Reed whenever he returns from injury, which I mean, I just love everything that Bronson Reed has done in the last year that he's been able to do it. Like he's been hella impressive. But real quick, back to Raw on Netflix. I wanted to make sure I said this. Like even like everything felt different. Like the arena looked different. Everybody understood the moment, I believe, with you know, nice, clean attires. And it definitely felt like it was a big PLE the way they presented it. You know, of course, we had the downsides there with, you know, Hogan getting massively booed and yada, yada, yada. But all in all, this was a great like event, I believe, all together. CM Punk and Seth Rollins had a good match. I don't think they're done with each other. I think we all kind of are in agreement with that. You know, Rhea Ripley managing to become the World Women Champion once again. Now it's like, where do you go with that? Where's the direction with Liv Morgan now? But also my biggest thing coming out of it, which once again, everything was great. Things felt big. They did a lot of mainstream stuff, John Cena. But I'm like, what are we doing next with Solo? Because if Solo isn't fighting to be the tribal chief anymore, what's the next move for him? Ideally, what do you think there, Kevin?
All right, let me pitch you something. Let me get in my pitching pants.
All right.
He doesn't go to tribal chief. He is soon betrayed by Jacob Fatu, a usurper. He takes control. Solo has proven time and time again recently that all he does is lose. He can't get in. He can't be the lead because he's too weak. He's then taken out by Jacob Fatu. Solo can return a conquering face to help Roman Reigns.
And Paul Heyman doesn't like losers.
And Paul Heyman doesn't like losers either.
Losing matters.
So if you're going to go, it seems like they're setting Solo up for a redemption at this point.
Okay.
They used him as a usurper so that he could be leading a bloodline as a caveat to bring in these other very dangerous men.
Yeah.
You have Jacob Fatu usurp him, bring in Hikuleo as his heavy. Now you have an absolutely intimidating, murderous, like Tongan bloodline. Led by Jacob Fatu. You can even put Heyman with him if you really want to get spicy.
Oh man.
Now you've got something. Because I
like
think
that.
you had something if you really wanted to with Solo, but it was clear they didn't want to pull the trigger that way, or they were building to something else.
Yeah.
This will allow them to do that and continue on with that story. I don't know how The Rock fits in at all at this point, but I'm sure we figured that out too.
Yeah. It would, even with like with The Rock, Yeah, I think we just got to pay attention to what The Rock is going to do, because last we saw he had a big beef with Cody. Then he came out on here and he was cool with Cody. They were drinking together and everything. Like, they're cool. So I'm like, I don't know where that is going, or Rock's involved. That made me think there's going to be minimal Rock involvement as far as like a match at WrestleMania, maybe a moment. But that the way he pivoted the character and everything made me think that there's not going to be a match. Like, but I don't know. I really feel like that everything that we're moving with Solo, I like what you're saying there as far as moving him and coming back towards because they did have that promo, and I remember watching it, and he was saying if Roman Reigns wins this Ulafala back, you will acknowledge him as tribal chief. And then he said, and so will I. So they already set the groundwork basically for him to come on back and be like, hey, you beat me, man. It is what it is. You know, if you need the help between whatever, because it's going to be a thing where, like you said, it's going to be Jacob Fatu realizing he don't love Solo. I hate you, Solo. And I think that that's the speculation that people are going to be wanting to hear soon. I think there is buzz around because he says, I love you, Solo. I love you, Solo. I think there's speculation around the time where he says, I hate you, Solo. Because Solo basically sold him a dream, told him we can run it all. We can do this and do that. And then he loses it all to Roman Reigns. So it's like, why would I acknowledge you? There's nothing to acknowledge.
Well, quick thing with that and the I love yous and I hate yous, just because I want to hear everyone else's thoughts, so I don't want to take everything. Solo always told Roman he loved him.
Yep.
And then what did he do?
Yep.
This is a callback to that. He can still love him while betraying him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true. Voice, you look like your wheels are turning, man. What you think?
Honestly, I'm just going back to back in time with the Usos and this whole family, the Samoan dynasty. And for some reason, I keep thinking Jay is going to break away from everybody. And it's going to be Jacob following Jay. And it's going to be Solo following Jay. And when Hikuleo comes in, he will be with Jay. I just, for some reason, this is in my head, and I don't know. I can't get it out now. I think something's going around Jay.
They've really been building Jay to be more of like a top singles guy. You could see him doing more of like the advertisements. He's in the Slim Jim commercials now and whatnot. I think that there's still a space where Jey Uso is still one of your biggest baby faces in the company. And even though he is back with the bloodline, I think you still got to prepare for him to continue to be a solo star because he is a moneymaker for the WWE.
And
right now.
I totally get that. But who was betrayed the most? Who had the most heartache when they were destroyed by Roman? It was Jay.
And it's funny.
Jay was destroyed the most
from the bloodline. It always crept back to him.
It did. It always followed him, didn't it?
Always.
No, that's to your point there, Voice. Like I'm saying, I can see why it always like he's the type that like when things get too thick, he takes himself out the situation, but the situation always finds its way back to you. Think about somebody where you're like maybe possibly considered the black sheep of the family, where you just don't mess with your family or anything like that. You feel like that what's best for me is to deal with me, myself, and I, because dealing with my family and everything, all the drama that they deal with, that takes from me. And that's honestly a very easy story to digest on so many levels for so many people. That's the story of Jey Uso, is that he got about the thick of things with his family, because sometimes there's a lot of cases where family can hold you back and stop you from seeing your true potential.
That's how he lost the belt.
That's how getting mixed up with the family is how he lost the belt. This is exactly to the point.
That's always going to be.
But it still follows him. It still follows him no matter what, because that's still his family. Yeah.
Oh,
really?
Oh, I mean, who else in that family's been told don't fuck with him? Jacob.
Kevin Brookman.
They all said it.
That's true. That's true.
Jacob is a star. I don't know if y'all saw like his SmackDown entrance and his new music, or like new to me music, because I haven't heard music from him yet, or didn't think I had. But like they're setting him up for major stuff. Jacob got pyro, y'all. Like Jacob got it's like, and he got boom, 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 boom pyro, like Batista style. Like so, like. I don't know. I see big things out of Jacob coming soon. Losing matter.
And they've been trying to bring Jacob in for ages, but because of the legal issues that he's had in the past, they didn't want to. So the fact that they're going now, like they've always planned this for Jacob.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's the right time for him. That dude's
I want to see him against Lesnar.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, put it right in my bloodstream.
Yeah,
For real. Let's go.
I don't even care how we get there. If it's just
go.
a random thing, I want to see it. I just want to see these two.
Let's go. Like, let's do that. Like, yes, I'm for that business, 100%. All in all, I believe Raw on Netflix was a really good episode. It helped usher in some new wrestling fans, I believe. You know, I believe it was 4.9 million that it did in streams over the course of like 24, 48 hours or something like that. That's but either way, it's amazing. Like the response, the stream was clean. I didn't have no screw ups too. I know that was one thing because, you know, I know it didn't do the numbers of like Jake Paul or Tyson or anything like that, but there was still speculation that maybe there might have been some buffering or something like that. Now, for me, it was clean all the way through. Really enjoyed what they did. The overview, like Raw on Netflix, I'm most definitely ready for what they do next. And that'll be this coming Monday, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. But we got to take a break real quick. Just pay a few bills. Then when we come back, my bills. Can't pay my telephone bill. Can't pay my. All right, we can't do no Destiny Child up in here. All right, we got to take a break. Then when we come back, we're gonna talk a little AEW. They quietly went to Max. That's we'll discuss when we come back.
Exciting things are happening at the Kokomo Press. Yeah, very exciting things. Not only are we bringing you comedy shows, an open mic once a week, skits, videos, funny jokes on our page, and satire news stories, but now you can support us by going to kokomopress.shop. It's that simple. You go to kokomopress.shop, you find a t-shirt, you find a hat, maybe in the future some stickers and some posters. You go on there, you buy one of those from us, and percentage of the proceeds will go to us and help support what we do. We appreciate every person who just likes, subscribes, does all that. But if you go to kokomopress.shop and you buy something, we'll know who you are. You send us a photo of it. We will post it on our page and shout it out. Thank you so much. Go to kokomopress.shop, buy all your shirts and hats needs, and support the Kokomo Press. Thank you guys so much. kokomopress.shop.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Hey guys, welcome back to In Your House, and we took a little break right there to let you guys know what is up and what is moving with other great podcasts and people that we work with. As far as we go, though, you need to make sure that you hit us up, and that is our Brainbuster Tea Stores. I have myself a nice In Your House hat right now. Just got this in, and man, you want to make sure you get your In Your House merch for what we're going to be doing. Royal Rumble weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the back end there. But real quick, we got to talk about AEW. AEW, they went to Max, and this was a quiet transition. It wasn't as fanfared as WWE going on Netflix was. I didn't really understand that move. For me, I do like the fact that we do have AEW. I can catch it on Max Live. That's good stuff if I do want to check it out and watch it. So that's great. That's great for wrestling as a whole. But Hype, I know you were checking it out. They're on Max now. What's the vibe with that, bro?
We kind of touched on this pause on Pope's point of view, where I think we see a very big and like different compare and contrast moment in this, where, as we just talked about, the Raw debut on Netflix was huge. It felt big. It gave big energy. It felt like it felt different in the most sort of ways. And as we talked about, AEW quietly made their move to Max. There was no big fanfare about it. You had to click more than 3 times to find it in the app, which, you know, like, some people can't read, and that's hard. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, like, it's hard to find. They got no, like, if you put on HBO Max, it wasn't on the front page. It didn't. There was no big announcement, no big party, no big celebrities in the crowd, the sort of thing. It just felt like small potatoes, which is horrible because, you know, I myself, I am a fan, and I think all of us here in the In Your House Network, we are fans and supporters of all independent wrestling. But we are also fans and supporters of AEW. But we call spades, and when the product sucks, we've said, hey, your product sucks. When you're doing good things, hey, we'll say you're doing good things. I think the move to Max was something that, like, when it was announced, we were all very excited about for AEW. But as it quietly jumped on there, we got very small fanfare about it. It doesn't feel like it was equally celebrated.
It resonated as walk of shame energy.
Right.
Ooh,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to agree with you, Annie. Like, so I understand the move of going to streaming and having it as a dual thing. It's because, to me, at least, this is just me looking at numbers and analytics. And it's not a shot at them, but their audience has been slowly waning down. It's been in a downtrend. So any way to get more visibility is the correct way to get more visibility right now. Yeah. Going onto streaming will get them more visibility pretty much one way or another.
Yeah.
Because if you get one more viewer, technically that's one more viewer.
Absolutely. I think this is something that AEW knew from its inception. As we saw them, they started off on like things like YouTube, started off with their streaming channels. I mean, the whole company came from a YouTube show. And I'm sorry, you can finish, Kevin. I just wanted to, like, they know they saw streaming was the way from the get-go. So, like, happy for this deal. Where was the energy?
So I think, like, two things through the course of their life may have happened. And this is wild speculation. I don't know anything. I'm not in the business meetings. Can't stress that enough. One, sometimes when you get put into a TV deal and you take some of these contracts, some of the other stuff has to go away because they want the content on their thing. So, like, your YouTube stuff, they don't want your YouTube stuff. They don't want you having self-contained shows because they want it on their programming. They want it on their network. Mm-hmm. So it could be that. Don't know. That could be the explanation for Dark and Dark Elevation and things like that. Secondly, though, and this is more of a company move to me because I see it with independent companies all the time. And I'm not saying AEW is independent. They are by far not independent. However, I do think they may have overexposed themselves too quickly. And what I mean by that is have too much programming. There is such thing as too much.
Gotcha.
They're oversaturating their own market because they had 3 days of television throughout the week. It seems like they were trying to mirror how much programming WWE had so bad before they built up a reason to have it.
It was all
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great point. Solid point.
And I feel like they still have this problem. They have this problem in abundance now because not only do they have their brand in AEW, but they also have the Ring of Honor brand, and they also have the in combination deals that they are doing with New Japan Wrestling,
CMLL
and CMLL, as they had, what was it, Wrestle Kingdom? They were involved
Wrestle
in
Dynasty.
Wrestle Dynasty over the past couple weekends.
They've been having people go to Britain and do the British Championship stuff
for
too.
Rev Pro.
Rev Pro.
Yeah, did Monet, I believe she won. She's holding like 5 belts right now.
Yeah.
It's wild. So here's the thing. Like I've been watching AEW. Their stories are getting better. Some stories are getting better. I can't tout how much and how strong Tony Storm has been over the following this past year.
Oh, yeah.
How great her character has been. I feel like they're starting to build a slight women's division. They just don't know what to do with it yet. Monet is big, will continue to be big for the company. That they just need to utilize her in the correct way. Swerve Strickland and the storyline between he and the Hurt Syndicate's very interesting, as well as now Ricochet being some sort of like suicidal. Like I don't know if he's a serial killer. I don't know what is going on with young Ricochet and the Dahmer glasses and the scissors.
I think that's one of the biggest things with their storylines is they jump to somewhere quickly. Like they go from we learn this a lot when we're going through booking and wrestling and stuff like that, is you got to go from point A to point B, not from point A to point E. And it seems like sometimes when the storylines are going in AEW, they're just like, hey, we're just going to amp it up to make it really personal really quickly before they have a personal issue in the first place. And it's just like they go from, Swerve comes out and embarrasses them with a bunch of toilet paper to stabbing, like right to murder.
Yep, for sure. That's a good point. Voice, what you think, man?
Well, I feel they should have done this a year ago. I mean, they should have made the move to Max. That's why
coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Tired of covering Collision because I was saying this every week. It's kind of like let me go into aliens for a second. But it's kind of like if you're the first guy to bang an alien, everybody's like, hey, there goes that guy who banged an alien. But if you're the 200th guy to bang an alien, everybody's like, hey, people bang aliens. So you're nothing special. And they did nothing to promote this going to Max. How long did we have WWE shoving it in our face? Get ready, fuckers. We're going to Netflix and it's happening. It's happening on this day. Let's be there. Where was that for Max? Where was anybody's excitement? Where was anybody's social media hyping
lack
it
of
up?
promoting for me.
And it seems like it is that alien syndrome that you were talking about. Like they were talking about WWE's for so long that if AEW started promoting, they would have felt like second fiddle.
Exactly.
They would have felt like
the
fourth chair in a band class.
Exactly. So who cares if you're there? Like I thoroughly enjoy it because it does it's going to open up their way that they can show us their product. It's going to give them more ability, but in the same sense, it's okay, cool. Like, what are you doing to get me there? Monet doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry. Swerve used to do it for me, but like you guys said, they jump way too. It's like, your shoes aren't even off and you're already asking, hey, when is this wrapping up? It's like, what the fuck is going on? Slow play. And wasn't it months ago that Tony came out and said that we're not worried about storylines? We're a company that's going to give you, just amazing performances every day and not really focus on the storyline aspect.
He's held true to that. I'm just going to say WWE made January 6th an interesting day for a couple reasons. So if you get it, you get it. Sorry about my bad jokes, but like I think he's held true to that because their stories, like we said, they've stopped and started. They're kind of weird. They intermingle with each other in a weird way. As Tony Gonzalez says, their main story sucks, and he's not lying with that because like I don't know what's going on with Edge and Mox, while Edge is also focused on Chris Jericho for some fucking reason. I don't know
who's Edge. All I know is Cope.
Oh,
I'm not coping very well, but
No, we're not. None of us are.
as a man who changes
None of us
his
are.
name
Smoking
a
the
lot,
copium.
and as a man who changes his name a lot, I can't cope with this either. But like I have ADHD and I can't keep up with their stories.
It feels like that Charlie Day meme where he's just looking at the board with all the connections.
Yeah,
It feels like that's the writing room where it's just Charlie Day. They're like, look, trust me, it's right here.
Yeah. So how can the fan base digest that easily? They can't. No one can.
No.
And that's what the
the
beauty about WWE is. Everything they're doing is digestible.
Yeah, their stories make sense. Do you guys ever watch that AEW backstage show where it was just kind of like it was literal backstage footage of AEW and how it ran?
No.
Okay, they had an episode where Tony Khan appeared a couple times, and he had this giant ass notebook, and it explained his booking for the next year or two, and like he could fold it out, and it looked like the most like they are following a madman sort of scheme that I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like he had an unfoldable notes that mapped out his booking for probably about a year.
I mean, I did cool doodles when I did coke too. I mean, I don't unfold them and try to make a plan out of them, but they were cool.
Absolutely.
Habit.
It definitely is an inmates running the asylum sort of feel, and that's what I get from the Mox story more than anything else is that like no one fucking it doesn't matter. You can hide your AEW championship, you can put it in a briefcase so nobody will ever see it and it's not special anymore. You guys you can commit murder on your show, but it's not appealing because you're not telling me anything. You're just showing me that you're willing to do crazy shit for the reason just to do crazy shit.
It's like
Are we
Steve-O
overexposing
on tour.
certain grudge matchy storylines too, to the point where like we're getting to this mock storyline where there's supposedly so much violence and all of this, but like I've also seen a Texas death match between three. I see a blood and guts every year.
Yeah.
So like, how are you more violent than what I've already seen?
You're right.
There's parts of AEW that overexpose themselves so much because I think their expectation is hey, we have to be that violent company every single time, otherwise they're gonna stop watching us. And I don't know if that's like imitating ECW, let's be that extreme or something like that, but the one thing I can say about WWE that I do appreciate is that like not everything's like that. Not everything is the most extreme, and I understand your stories.
Well, just watching ECW Hardcore TV with me and House, and you will see that not every single moment has to be extreme, but every single moment is meaningful. There's a reason why you have this guy in the ring saying something and going after Douglas or this. Unlike what we see in AEW, when you have momentum, like let's say it, Willow Nightingale had some of the biggest momentum going. As soon as Mercedes Moné made it in there, they stripped her of her title.
Yeah.
And gave it to Mercedes. Why? Why do that when you had people who were generally connecting with Willow? You just killed all of her personal built momentum.
And you can have a title that you get taken off of a babyface like that as long as you have a plan. Because then, and she didn't even need to win the title back. But what happened after she lost it, at least this is my memory, correct me if I'm incorrect, because I don't always get all details right, Willow Nightingale lost that title. I don't even remember if she got a rematch, but then she was just off doing nothing.
Yeah.
She was like gone to ROH. She just like, cool, thanks for your service. We're going to ship you to ROH.
Well, there for a month after she lost it, I had to like keep up with her on her X profile because I wasn't seeing her on AEW at all.
And you know, that's crazy.
And she wasn't injured.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It seems like they needed her to get through the time that they needed her for. And then when they saw that something was there building organically, like obviously it connected with a lot of people, including yourself, Voice, instead of being like, okay, hey, we're going to go this direction with Monet, but we still need to nurture Willow Nightingale. And that nurturing didn't happen because, you know, you're all of a sudden you're not on TV or you're with their developmental brand Ring of Honor instead of getting a chance to build and craft a story for yourself, for people to see you on Dynamite, for people to see you on Collision and be like, okay, she might not be in this situation anymore, but because of that situation she was in, we got behind her. Now whatever she does over here, we're going to support it. We want to see what she can do now. And instead of that happening, it was like, oh, thank you for what you did. Thank you for holding this until Monet came back from that injury. See you bye. You know, and that's never a good thing because if you see something working, you got to figure out a way to nurture it.
Exactly. Especially something so naturally grown. I mean, I remember when it went from who is this to, hey, it's fucking Willow Nightingale. You know, like it was just so organic. And I just, for them to kill that was my final straw. I couldn't digest it anymore. It became impossible.
I remember when you were reviewing Collision every single week, you were covering that show, and and I know I was excited about AEW in its beginning, except inception and whatnot, but like I think that we're all in agreement that even though for me AEW it's not something that I digest, but I'm glad that it's here because look what it's look what it's pushed for, like what we see in WWE today. WWE is not making these moves right now if they're not getting some pressure from some competition with AEW. The indies are thriving because AEW is here. So many talents are getting opportunities. Promotions are getting a chance to get their product on mainstream television through AEW. Talents are getting opportunities, whether it be AEW Dark or getting a chance to do stuff on Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor now has a place to live again. You know, after Ring of Honor was a great independent company for many, many years that housed many future world heavyweight champions and key players in WWE that we saw come from that, whether it be Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens or CM Punk, Seth Rollins. They all had runs in Ring of Honor, and now we have a home for that place with AEW. I'm glad they're here. I just wish that they would restructure a little bit because it's just like you guys are saying, the storylines are all gas, no breaks. The matches are all gas, no breaks. And it's like you got to let things breathe. And I think that's one of their biggest issues is things don't have enough time to breathe in AEW.
And as a performer and a wrestler, I will always be in support of there being more places to make a good living for any of these wrestlers, workers, referees, backstage, techs, all of these people. Correct. All these people are good people who generally know what they're doing or are at least building to know more of what they're doing. And I want them to succeed and I want them to make their money. I generally don't speak a ton of critiques into the public eye because I don't feel that my voice, like everyone has opinions, but I generally feel my voice isn't the most educated on the subject. So what I would like to see because of that, what I would really like to see is people get put in those positions and to be trusted in AEW, because I truly think that's what WWE has over AEW. It is maybe that simple. It is, hey, who can I trust to put there? They have Jeff Jarrett on staff. He has run promotions successfully. You know, whether it ebbs and flows, he's at least known to run it successfully at times. They have a Daniel Bryan there on staff who knows ring psychology, and they can get things from him there. They have so many legends under contract that if they just utilized and the roster trusted, I don't know what their backstage looks like. All I can see is the reports that I get. I don't know how much of that is fed. I don't know how much of it is true. I will never know. But what I do know is that there is some level of dissension within there, or at least differing things that are coming out. It's going to create some drama that needs to be brought in, and people who need to be trusted in the roles that they can give, provide feedback, provide psychology, and provide all that writing and booking ideas, and not just be one guy. Because we saw what happened with Vince McMahon when he was the one guy, and none of us liked it. So don't let that become AEW. That is my plea.
That's a good point.
The one thing that AEW has to its advantage are all of the mistakes that WWE has made in the past. So the best thing that they can do is just not do
learn from it,
the same pattern. But
they're just walking that path.
And I mean, like, they have the best talent that money can buy, but where is the discrepancy? What is it internally that needs to be tweaked for it to fulfill its potential? Because that's what AEW is, and that's what I see it for. It is the alternative place when it isn't WWE anymore.
Yep. No, there's a lot of questions to be had there for sure. You know, I'm glad that AEW is on Max. I'm glad they're doing their thing there and everything. And hopefully they can make some moves to get things going to where they need to be at, to where people want to see it, because it is easy access for them to be on Max. I think it's convenient for them. And speaking of content, real quick before we get out of here and call this a great episode, I do want to talk a little Smackdown, and I want to make sure that we get that in there. But before we do that, Annie and Kevin, I know you guys' time is up here. We appreciate you guys coming on. I know you guys got projects that you guys are going to be working on, doing stuff and staying busy. Totally get that. But before we let you go ahead, and each one of you, go ahead and plug anything that you guys want to plug.
Well, I have a lot of great episodes of Bumpin' and Thumpin' lined up. We just had an amazing show at Divine Pro last night in Wyandotte, Michigan. So check all the socials on Instagram and Facebook for amazing updates, because Divine Pro is going to be the thing that you want to keep on your radar. Trust me. It's loaded with amazing talent and people who help make it happen. It's this guy. But yeah, I'll be out here for IYH, you know, keeping it going on.
We'll be at Frontline at the end of the month too.
Frontline Pro, January 25th for Ground Zero. We got Mustafa Ali coming in. We have is it tag team move with Swoggle and Nick Colucci?
Yeah. Against the Raptor, yeah.
Yep. So a lot of amazing. Oh, we'll be at EverCon in Wisconsin in February.
End of February,
yeah. So, yeah, lots of good things coming. So
yeah. I get my debut at Frontline Pro.
You do against Sam Eli.
Yep.
So, and yeah, lots of fun things. Kevin, what do you got going on?
That's about it for me right now, at least in coming memory. I, of course, have we're working together to get the DPW program going. I'm getting a new computer so that I can hopefully get that. We're working out how to do it live, because we have some cool people that have been hitting us up and people that we've been talking to. So we're trying to figure out a way to bring that to people live instead of as a recorded episode on those, so that we can really get the most out of it and give back in a way where we can get some viewer questions in the moment, and really what we can ask those people instead of just coming up with our own questions.
For sure. No, I like that. I think that'd be great if you guys had a produced live show, because that pod is doing numbers. It's doing great stuff. So yeah, we appreciate you guys coming on and talking a little bit around Netflix with us, everything that's going down in the last week of wrestling. Once again, I mean, we got a great team here. We just wanted to get that chemistry flowing and going once again, but we'll let you guys do what you guys got to do. Go out there, and just go out there, be the best version of yourselves, because it's a new year now, and I know I got a lot of things moving here that I'm going to be talking about at the end of the show. Sounds like you guys already got some stuff moving, doing y'all's thing, so it's great. It's time to get out and create again. Appreciate y'all coming on, and enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday.
Absolutely. All right,
Have a
we'll
good
see you
one,
later.
everyone.
Bye.
That was the amazing Annie O'Neill and the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway. And now it's time for us to get back to what we were talking about. That's some professional wrestling for sure, after we had some insights from our great co-host and team members here in your house. But you know, SmackDown has been a very interesting watch lately, I do believe. They're now at 3 hours. I'm thoroughly enjoying the 3 hours. This last SmackDown was a fun one to watch, where I feel like that we're seeing some focus on some different acts. A lot of focus on the tag team division that I was really excited to see. We saw Tiffany Stratton react to her cash in and being the new World's Women Champion over there on SmackDown. I honestly am happy to see SmackDown at 3 hours and seeing all the movement that we're seeing. Grun, you've been covering it a lot because you're our SmackDown guy. What did you think about the SmackDown from this past Friday night?
This past Friday night SmackDown, it was solid. I don't know if you guys heard, but I do think I do need to say this, is that it has been reported and confirmed that 3 hours SmackDown is not permanent. It will be over by the spring or the summer. So at best, we'll get 6 months of it. And hopefully we, the fan base, we can change their minds and make it more consistent. But that we have 6 months as a fan base. We don't really know why they're only doing 3 hours for 6 months roughly, but it is what it is. But this SmackDown, yes, like we gave Tiffany Stratton some time to talk some more on the mic, like, and develop her character a little bit more, how she played a role to deceive Nia Jax, and how the tag team division is getting more flushed out. Especially Los Garza and Pretty Deadly, they're being brought back in as a active member of the tag team division, which, I mean, like they had won me over at one point, so I'm happy to see them. Los Garza, they mean something. They're doing something with little Gato del Fantasma. Yeah. They mean something again. Or at least they're in the process of meaning something. It's like, holy hell.
Big for me, yes.
Hell, and this is going to be a very good, hopefully, 6 months of 3 hours SmackDown for a while, hopefully. I'm trying to think what Chelsea Green's having a very memorable run as United States Women's Champion, and really, I don't know where they're going with Mello, because I feel like they're trying to find his place, but I think that's been the issue. He blends. He's similar to Waller and Theory. He's similar to Trick Williams, and it's like he had a great run in NXT, but I don't think he is. I don't think his transition has been as smooth as a lot of people have expected it to be.
Yeah, I could see why you'd say that, because he did so much on NXT and was a perennial champion, and now he's just kind of picking fights backstage with people right now to try to find his way. But I think that there's got to be a story somewhere for him to find that true potential. We thought it was going to be in that Best of 7 series that myself and Voice really championed there for a while with Andrade, and then Andrade really hasn't been on TV much since then. I mean, he has, but not really doing anything. And then you have Carmelo Hayes backstage once again, just picking fights with guys. And I think the last one that he picked was with Big Jimmy Uso. I don't know, man. As much as I'm loving seeing some of these directions. Tiffany Stratton being the champion, the tag team division is really starting to heat up on SmackDown, and I think that that's great. Whether it be Kevin Owens and him getting another opportunity at the Undisputed Championship at Royal Rumble in the ladder match. There's a lot of great things moving. But I guess I got to ask this to Voice. I know you're a big 3-hour guy, and you championed 3 hours for a long time. Even when people are saying, oh, it's so awesome, the Raw is going to 2 hours, you're like, no, give me my 3 hours. You got it now on SmackDown. You pretty much got it on Raw, too, because they don't have any time constraints right now because of being on Netflix, being on streaming. But what's your thoughts on 3-hour SmackDown right now?
It's needed. I mean, look at the talent that you have on SmackDown that you have on Raw. I mean, we seen the 2-hour Raws, and everybody was saying yes. Did it help with everybody's schedule? Of course it did. I mean, that's just obvious. But you also had rush stories, and those were the weeks where people were kind of like iffy with Raw and things like that, and plus, you know, holidays and all that. But now that you're back on 3 hours, we're on the Netflix kick. I mean, it could be infinite. They could have an 8-hour fucking Raw if they wanted to. I mean, but at the end of the day, though, SmackDown, I do believe that needs this, because you have talents like Tiffany Stratton, who is now becoming Tiffy time on Ultimate Level times 10. And to me, 3 hours is why your tag division's looking good. You're allowed to write for these guys. You're allowed to give more of a landscape for them to run around in and create and become something. I mean, Chelsea Green is, like Grun said, she's making the most of her time with her run. And that's exactly what we need at this time. We also got to think about people who are going to be coming back. Charlotte Flair is coming back. Where is she going to land? I mean, I know it does seem pretty obvious you would put a star like that on Raw, but, you know, SmackDown is enticing, especially with this last 3-hour one. It's reminded me of days when we had WCW Monday Night Nitro, and then Thunder, and then you had you had Raw, and then you had SmackDown. So those types of shows, SmackDown to me is coming back to that energy that they had once, and they're going to be a pretty cool competition for Monday Night Raw again.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. With Raw being on Netflix, I think that having SmackDown and treating it, because hell, I think we could all agree that even SmackDown's debut going to USA felt bigger than AEW on Max. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. There was no promotion whatsoever for that.
Yeah,
NXT New Year's Evo was better promoted than AEW going to Max.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Girl Scout cookies are better promoted than going to Max.
I mean,
I ain't fucking with Girl Scout cookies right now. They didn't discontinued some shit in certain areas. Fuck you, girls.
I do have one theory as to why maybe they didn't promote it as
too soon.
I do have one theory as to why they probably didn't promote it as much, and it's probably because I do believe this is true, that the subscription to Max only gives you a discounted price for the pay-per-views, which is which I told that to Doc Fox, who was in the chat earlier, and a couple of our other friends, Madu and Serum, and I told them, like, I get you guys aren't pro wrestling fans, but you guys got to hear this. You believe this is crazy. It's like they agree, like, this is crazy. Like, you are making them pay for a subscription, and then you're not giving them the pay-per-view. You're giving them a discounted price to the pay-per-view. It's like, how are we supposed to believe that you guys are actually interested in making money? And if you're going to
are your best shows.
Wait, so I can understand having to prove yourself to networks.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like AEW is in that stage where they have needed to prove themselves to networks, and for a short time they did, right? Mm-hmm. And I agree. So now with the WWE, we have to make sure to have 2 different subscriptions still. You still have to make sure to have a Peacock subscription and a Netflix subscription. So I don't know who you borrow from either one of those, but yeah, hopefully they keep it up to date. But like, we aren't seeing that from AEW, where their stories are fresh, they're enticing. They're not. They haven't been for a while. They lost their mojo a very long time ago, and they haven't figured out how to get it back. It feels very convoluted, and I don't think they have network trust built in to be like, yeah, we will get enough viewers from your product that we're not worried about buy rates or pay-per-view dollars, because we know this is an easy, 2 to 3 million people eyes on your product. We'll get money out. We'll get money on the back end of that. We don't get that from AEW because their stories aren't enticing enough to want to fucking keep us anymore.
Yeah.
And like that's my biggest rant with that, is that you have to make a better product to be presented in a bigger way. And I think you were presented as you should have been. Just very, very, very mid.
That's what it comes off as. It's very mid, man. Like that's how it's looking, man. But SmackDown for me wasn't mid. It most definitely wasn't. I thought it was a good episode with a lot of good things. Man, I got to highlight real quick Jacob Fatu, man. He was a wild man on SmackDown. I really enjoy the way they're building him. And even me and my son have been quoting it like all weekend, like we'll be playing Mario Party and have a certain move or something happen and be like, man, you better think about your life if you think you that was the funniest shit ever, bro. Like, oh my God, you better think about your life.
LA Knight's gonna die.
I know, like LA Knight, like, bro, you could have just not done any of that. Like, but this is what LA Knight does. Like, this is the very much character of LA Knight. LA Knight is just, he's a baby face, but he's just a dick. Like, like he's a dick. And like, I was like, bro,
Morris.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Zach Morris is trash.
Yeah, Morris is trash.
Yes, man.
I fucking love those. I can just sit and watch those all day.
Oh, I watch those all the time, bro. I loved those. But it's a good comparison because he's supposed to be this good guy, but he's kind of a dick. And I'm like, bro, you literally have a tie. And the logic didn't even make sense to me. Hey, don't get me wrong. Funny moment. He's like, oh yeah, he wouldn't use his inside voice, so I kicked his ass out. Now I got a title to win. Yeah, that was a nice little one-liner. But like, bro, you got a title to fight for, and you already have Shinsuke Nakamura, who's already dangerous on his own, and you just sit up there and pick a fight with one of the most dangerous men in WWE. Bro, you deserve what happens to you. You deserve the fact that they came and, assaulted you and stopped you from having a chance to win your title back, because you're getting yourself involved in shit you ain't even got to involve yourself in.
Yo,
big facts.
Like, that this is the plight of LA Knight, is that he has so much bravado that he literally gets in his own way.
Mm-hmm. He's the guy that Malcolm X warned everybody about. Just stay away from that dude. Don't let him get in your circles, because he's gonna fuck it up for you. Because he's gonna be running his mouth, acting like he's
God damn.
Yeah,
bro. I was just gonna call him Johnny Bravo. You went to a whole nother level.
God damn, dude.
I did. I called him for what I see, man.
Damn.
I get it. But he does. But his bravado does get in his own way. But once again, that moment was funny, and I truly do think that like Jacob Fatu, like my man Hype was saying earlier, Jacob Fatu is going to be huge, massive, huge star. They already know what they got. They're giving him more mic time. They're letting him be himself. He's got pyro. Like, that's one thing. But like, and I want to bring this up too. Anytime that they've given Jacob Fatu an opportunity on the mic, He has done the very. You talk about using that 5 minutes. You say it all the time. You talk about maximizing that 5 minutes. You gave him a little bit of mic time. Put him on the Tron talking to Roman Reigns. Hey, let me lace you up with something real quick, stupid. Like, like
it's little shit like that, though.
Exactly. You better think about your life right now. He just says little things. They're like at the end of the day, you will acknowledge. And I'm like, bro, he's just hood, but it's like he's himself at the same time. He's intense. And like every little 2 minutes that he gets, he maximizes the shit out of it. Jacob Fatu, watching what he's doing right now is just masterful.
I want Jacob Fatu on my side.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he just yeeted. He yeeted.
Yeah.
It was very magical there. I really like with Jacob though that the fact that in his mic time, he makes shirts. Imagine having that on the shirt and then on the back, I'm a Jacob Fatu guy.
Think about your life.
You better think about your life.
Exactly. And tell me
that's hood shit, bro. I'm sorry, that's hood shit.
Yeah, and it would be so awesome on a shirt and would sell. He's following in the more of the path of The Rock than I think most people see, because he's able to maximize his time on a mic. He's also able to get you to get little quick catchphrases out of him. The Rock was known for that, especially back in the day. Like his Nation of Domination run.
Jacob
Some of the best
movies.
one-liners.
Yes, best one. Yep.
Can you imagine Jacob Fatu in movies?
Oh my god!
I can see it. I can see him.
Oh my god!
Yeah, because like we're seeing him play the overly excited henchman who's just diehard for the mob boss and whatever, but. This is also, remember, this is them suppressing his ability. This is him suppressing. This is them telling him to hold back, and it's like his hold back is still, no offense, but him holding back is still better than Solo Sikoa on a regular basis.
No, you ain't. There's no offense there. It's true.
I can't disagree with that. I mean, he's just. Overall, he's everything that they wanted Solo to be, but Solo's pace is different, more methodical, more slower pace style, and Jacob Fatu is just that big, high, like high engine. What did they call my man Bray Wyatt back when he was Husky Harris? They said he was like, he had a Ferrari engine and like a tank truck or something like that. It was
something like that. Yeah, that's what it was. Something like that.
He reminds me of a likable Harley Race.
Okay.
Like that, one that, I mean, because Harley Race was kind of a hard guy to really like in person, but he was a tough son of a bitch, and I just think Jacob is that way. I mean, he's so magical.
I think it's just fun, and I really can see him doing big things. Can you guys imagine Jacob in a Friday remake as Debo?
Oh my god, that'd be fire.
There we go. There we go.
I could see it. I could most definitely see it.
Throw on Saturday Night Live. Make that shit funny again.
Oh my god.
Hey, yeah. But give him something like that.
Hey, while you're at it, give me a job.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah,
Type Jones comedy. Yeah.
I mean, hell, in the first 2 minutes, you had the entire place just fucking crumbling with what you were saying.
I'll put money down that WWE, if WWE was allowed to fill the entire Saturday Night Live cast with WWE superstars, they could come up with better content than the current Saturday Night Live cast.
Damn.
Because like
I would say except Weekend Update, because those guys
Weekend Update kills.
Yeah, that's the only saving grace of Saturday Night Live.
I have my own weekend update on the Kokomo Press, where sometimes I just write jokes that people will honestly think that Jordan Danger Granger wrote and get very mad at him because they think it's not good.
I like it.
If you know, you know.
Wild stuff. I most definitely know. But once again, like I said, this SmackDown, solid episode. Good things coming out of it. 3 hours, and still so much stuff to do. You know, so much stuff to cover. Roman Reigns, of course, involving himself in the Royal Rumble for the first time in 5 years. That's going to be big. I'm enjoying where we're leading to, where we're moving at for WrestleMania, and it all starts at the Royal Rumble, and that's just a perfect segue for the last thing I wanted to talk about before we got out of here. And man, myself and Hype, we're really trying to put something really heavy together. I've already been in some inboxes and whatnot, and as you guys all know, Royal Rumble is going to be coming here to Indianapolis. That's on February 1st, and that's going to be a huge event. Most definitely going to be there for that. A historic event as Indy hosts its first ever Royal Rumble, and that's going to be an awesome event. That's going down on my birthday, so I'm super excited for that. But what's surrounding this big event is also very interesting. Now, I know that all you guys out there in the household, you guys are deep wrestling fans, whether it be WWE or even the indies. We talk about all of it, and a lot of you guys lock in. So you guys know about WrestleMania weekend that goes down wherever WrestleMania is at. And they usually have a jam pack of shows that go on from the Thursday all the way to the Sunday. And it's just basically a whole festival of wrestling that's following along with WWE's big event, WrestleMania. Well, now some of the big four have started to do this. I know that Chicago does it when they get like Survivor Series. They have like a massive block of shows, which makes sense because, of course, Chicago's a pretty massive wrestling town. But
absolutely,
we here in Indianapolis are trying to show that we're a pretty big wrestling town as well, because we're going to be having a bunch of shows that's going to be coming through, whether it be Wrestling Revolver out of Dayton, Ohio, where you can see guys frequent like Moxley. Moxley is there all the time at Wrestling Revolver. Cardona is there all the time at Wrestling Revolver. Some of the top tier, awesome, best indie towns that you're going to see in the Midwest, even the United States, and sometimes even the world, are going to be there at Wrestling Revolver. Then they're going to be having GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, where you can see some of the top stars like Effie will be involved in an event like that. You're going to have like Noah Vale, one of the top up-and-coming talents that's going to be involved in that. Mance Warner is going to be involved. Calvin Tankman. All of the heavy hitters here locally in our area is going to be out and looking to prove that Indy is indeed a wrestling town. Naptown All Pro going down on Sunday. Wrestle Arts going down on Saturday at noon, hours before the big Royal Rumble. If you're there, if you're in town, you just want to watch a whole lot of wrestling, you might as well make a weekend of it and come down. Check out Wrestling Revolver. Check out GCW. Check out Wrestle Arts. Check out the Royal Rumble that Saturday night. And then check out Naptown All Pro that Sunday afternoon. Just make a whole weekend of it. As a matter of fact, we're going to be doing it because we're going to be up in the mix, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be the Heart of Indie Wrestling series, the Heart of Indie Wrestling docu-series, where we're going to be moving around the city for Royal Rumble Indie Weekend. We're going to be documenting it, getting interviews, putting highlights on what is going to be a massive event, because I think that with it being the first ever Royal Rumble that's going to be coming, and you have some minds that trying to put together a big event to make this weekend even more massive, to show these wrestling companies, hey, Indy is capable of not only housing a Royal Rumble, but we can do we can do SummerSlam. That's coming up. And then we're most definitely going to put on when it's time to do WrestleMania, which is confirmed to be coming to us at some point. And this is just the tipping point, the starting point of where people are going to see what this state can do, what this state can produce when it comes to professional wrestling. I am a proud member of the Indiana independent professional wrestling scene. So I've seen it firsthand, been in locker rooms, managed talent, commentated, interviewed for many of these talents. This is going to be a great opportunity for many talents to be on stages such as Wrestling Revolver, such as GCW, Naptown All Pro, Wrestle Arts, and put on and be a part of what is a massive weekend for the city. And In Your House will be covering it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait for this Heart of Indie Wrestling docu-series that we're getting together, and that is coming together faster than I realized. It's going to be something special, and it's going to be something for us to really highlight our love for independent wrestling and wrestling as a whole, but as well as our community. So like even if it doesn't go far out in the universe, we want to give our love to independent wrestling and share our love with as many people as we can, and get everyone's stories about their love for professional wrestling, and then what the importance of having events and weekends and spectacles like we are going to have Royal Rumble weekend.
Yeah, most definitely, man. As I mean, 3 out of the 4 of us, we're Indiana guys, and we've worked in the Indiana wrestling scene, so I just felt like that it's a big thing, and like I've seen some of our best talent, our top tier talent. You have Eric Dillinger, who's just doing Japan, and working with AEW, doing stuff for AEW, getting headshots with them, and things of that nature. Josh Crane doing the same thing. We have incredible talent like Rachel Armstrong, who's always out there booked, doing her thing all the time. I mean, we have some great representation from Indiana, and I think that with names like Mance Warner, Calvin Tankman, all of them, that's going to be involved in such a big event and means so much to the city. And I feel like that there should be some buzz around that, some noise around that, getting people to come out, voice, man. I know that it's been, you're over there on kind of the other side of Indiana, and you've been involved in some wrestling and stuff like that. But what you think about a weekend like this, as far as like statewide and state pride,
Oh no, this is amazing. This gives IYH the ability to give you guys the peek into what we've seen, what makes us want to keep doing this and become something coming out of Indiana also on the wrestling side. So I'm so stoked for it. And I mean, just like you said, the guys that we've highlighted are getting headshots with some big companies. So the proof is in the pudding. This area does produce some great fans and some great talents that will be highlighted this weekend. So if you have a drive, if you have a thirst for this, Indianapolis is going to be where to be during Royal Rumble weekend, because your opportunities are going to be like a buffet, and you should definitely be down there ready to work and have that mindset to grind, because this team is, and it just really speaks volumes to what is being created throughout this area.
Yeah, most definitely. Grun, you guys had WrestleMania there pretty recently, and I know that was a big weekend for a lot of people. I knew a lot of people that went out there for like Wale Mania and stuff like that. We're not going to be getting anything like that here for Royal Rumble. Maybe we'll get it for WrestleMania, but like, you were there close to that action. Maybe didn't go to the stuff, but you're there feeling that energy. Like, you see what we're gonna be doing here, man. Like trying to make this a big weekend. What do you think about that, man? Especially being as close to one as you have been in the last like year or so.
I mean, you know what? Like just the knowledge that WrestleMania was coming to Philadelphia was exciting. The fact that because in recent memory they've been sticking to warmer places more or less. They've been sticking to areas where the temperature for March or April is a little bit warmer. And Philadelphia is not warm in March and April, yeah. But they had that. And just the fact that Cody finished his story in the Lincoln Financial Field, that for a wrestling fan in the Philadelphia area, it's so exciting to know that not only was that just another WrestleMania, it was history making in solidifying Cody's return to WWE, that he was ready this time, that we had the awesome match of Gunther versus Sami Zayn. We had Seth Rollins once again killing himself, killing his body to help make a WrestleMania, make a wrestling show, a WWE show beyond memorable, iconic even, and Roman Reigns just granting his presence to the Lincoln Financial Field and to Philadelphia at WrestleMania for 2 nights in a row. Like WrestleMania, it is really the Super Bowl of this industry, and maybe not every WrestleMania is equal, but every WrestleMania needs to be special in one way or another. And I think with how they've been hyping up Indianapolis hosting a WrestleMania, I think it's gonna be special in a way that we can't even fathom right now.
Hey, no, that's a good point. And we don't even know what year that we're going to be getting that one. And that's the interesting part right there. Mm-hmm. But we will be getting one. And I really do feel like, fellas, that like being a part of this is setting the groundwork for what we can do for this industry in our local area for years to come. You know, whether it be doing this again and having more access in SummerSlam, then doing this again and having even more access at WrestleMania, and being able to continue to be that voice and that noise of professional wrestling that people come to for honest opinions and great interviews and people who just have a real passion and love for wrestling in a way that we cover it thoughtfully. You know, and that puts us in situations to do things like interview people like Donovan Dijak or Sabu, you know, or Misa Kate, you know, or Bill Alfonso. That puts us in a particular spot, or doing something big like we're about to do with this big weekend. Even having our first live podcast back in November, yep. That was a massive thing all in itself. And I think this is just naturally the next best logical move for In Your House and what we can do to create some amazing content and do what this show has done for many years, and that's represent our area in wrestling and highlight that there's great talent, great thoughts, great opinions that come from this side, this area, this link, this way to hear our airwaves here at In Your House, whether it be Window Lickers, whether it be the Raw Deal with House and O'Neill, you know, whether it be Grun's Room, whether it be the Sunday Howse Party or the ECW Watch Along. We give you all kinds of different facets of wrestling, even thoughtfulness from within the business with Dear Pro Wrestling. This is exactly what we do. And we're just looking to be even more in the mix and continue to push forward and push ahead and have In Your House be a staple in professional wrestling media now and for years to come. So with that being said, I think that's a good way to go out on. And of course, I got to do my due diligence, and that's throw it over to my great team here that make this work Grun, man, where can they find you and everything that you are doing?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Grunmeister, where every Friday night I am doing my Grun's Room Smackdown preview review show. I am starting to get back more into gaming streaming. We're going to be seeing a lot of Marvel Rivals lately because the Lou has he is addicted, but not just that. We have officially put together teams. We're going to start doing tournaments for Marvel Rivals. They're joining the official tournament.
Oh,
we are the McVipers. And we're going to find out, do we have what it takes to go pro?
Okay. I'm down for that. I heard that game's actually really good too, honestly. Like, I've heard people talk about it. I heard it's actually, I think people thought it was going to be something a little bit more lower brow, I guess. They weren't expecting it to be as good as it was, but from everybody I've talked to, it's exceeded expectations. I
think the big thing is that people were expecting Disney to have more of a hand in the character design than they did, and because it really, like, every character looks good, every character looks great, every character looks how you would imagine they look.
Because
the game is free to play. Like, guys, you can download it on your PS5, your Xbox, your PC. And almost anything can run it. It's really easy to run. And my guess is they didn't think they were going to make a lot of money out of it. They probably didn't think it was going to get this much attention, but it's a fun game. And in a world where a lot of people are tired of Call of Duty. A lot of people are tired of are exhausted from all these other games. They needed something different. They needed something new. Marvel Rivals gave them that.
Hey, I could dig that. Like I said, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So it seems like it's a game that's taken a lot of people by surprise. So maybe I'll have to check that out at some point if I get a chance. So I'm going to have a little bit more time on my hands coming up. So that's definitely something I could check on real quick. But I always got to check on over on my man Voice, because he's always got some awesome stuff moving, things going on, many shows, whether it be on Mondays or Fridays or Saturdays. Where can they catch you at, man? Where can they catch everything that you're doing, Voice?
All right, so you can catch me and the blue-eyed villain himself along with the Chaos Goblin on a show we do on Mondays at 7 p.m. It's the Raw preview show where me, Grunmeister, and Kevin Calloway himself talk about Raw. We do 3 subjects. One is a general discussion, and then my co-host bring their topics to the plate, and we see if we can hit them out of the park. So join us. That's 7 p.m. every Monday, where you can join us, and the whole team will be back this Monday. So join us for that. We know you enjoy the bearded trio. We see it in the comments every single Monday. So join us there. And then on Friday, me and House, we get extreme. We are ECW Hardcore TV watchers, and we are going back in time, and we are watching every single episode. And we're also throwing in some of our favorite pay-per-views, which November to Remember 1997 is the next one on the docket. So when we go live, you come with us, and let's get extreme. That is on Fridays at anywhere between 6 and 6:30 is usually our start time. So join us, and we will keep you updated for that one. Also, next weekend, we will be going into Conspiracies at Sea with the Epstein Files. Yes, it was supposed to be this past Sunday, but my co-host decided to smoke the devil's lettuce, and he didn't feel like doing anything. So that's a lesson to you kids out there. Don't be diving in the devil's lettuce if you got a podcast to do, unless you're a professional like me and Jones and other people, and you can just do that. So join us then. Exactly. That's what we're known for. And always, and lastly, but certainly not least, the place that got me to start, the place that said, hey, Voice, you got a voice, come talk about it. It's here. It's the Sunday Night House Party. You can catch me here hanging out with my friends of the In Your House Podcast Network and see what we got to say about wrestling. Tonight was a fun episode, so join us for the next one.
Most definitely. Awesome episode. I really enjoyed it. Great to get back in the swing of things. Not only do we have the core four, but we had Annie and Kevin as well. They did awesome and came on and had some great insights. But of course, I got to throw it over to my producer of the show here, and that is, of course, Hypocrisy Jones. It's always Smokey in High Philadelphia. Man, where can they catch everything that you're doing?
Household, you can find me right here, of course, on the Sunday Howse Party, right here on IYH Plus. Always doing some shit. Usually behind the scenes of IYH, trying to keep this train moving as we keep going. But you can find me on my comedy page, Hypocrisy Jones, on Facebook. Check me out there. There's always some funny stuff popping up. I occasionally throw out some of my stand-up comedy. I tell a lot of bad jokes, man. You can tell me about my bad jokes, and that's okay, because this is how we learn. This is how we get better. But I also do this thing called the Kokomo Press, and the Kokomo Press is a collection of community enthusiasts. We are a community satire page, and we lean heavy on that community part as we make fun of our city. So check us out on Facebook. It's the Kokomo Press. We do a lot of shows and different things. Every Thursday we have an open mic. If you're in the Kokomo, Indiana area, we do an open mic every Thursday at 8 p.m. at Cooper's Pub in Kokomo, Indiana. Check us out. I have an upcoming show, and that show is the Crossroads Comedy Tour, Friday, January 24th. It's going to be in Cooper's Pub in Kokomo, Indiana, 113 East Sycamore, East Sycamore Street, Kokomo, Indiana, 46901. You're going to see myself, my homies Jordan Danger Granger and Brian Allen West, but we're also bringing some comedians from Indianapolis like Max Haddad and Stephen Riley, very funny guys, and we have some Chicago-based comics in Morgan Lee and John Moore. So it's going to be a very, very fun night. Tickets are $11, which, in my opinion, man, that's a cheap date, man. Come through January 24th, Friday. It's going to be a fun time. You're going to see us do our thing. So, but other than that, man, this has been a fun episode.
Dude,
yes.
Can I say real quick, if you're a fan of comedy, just purely go to the Kokomo Press's Facebook page, follow it, and just read the comments with whatever they post. I guarantee you are going to have a nice time. Get your favorite beverage or your favorite whatever, and just read, because they're wild. Your guys
have fun over there for sure.
Wild.
I know they did not like my latest traffic report. So we got some interesting comments about my latest traffic report. Maybe I went too far. I don't know. Sometimes I do these things.
The stripper pregnancy on stage, I know that one went pretty heavy.
That one went viral. Actually, we got national radios talking about it. If you guys know Bubba the Love Sponge, and especially his connections to wrestling, and maybe to somebody getting booed in LA this past week. He talked about the Kokomo Press on his show this past week, and that the stripper pregnancy in Kokomo, Indiana. Funny story.
It was fantastic. Great job,
That's
guys.
great stuff. Yeah, they're always doing great work over there. The notorious Kokomo Press. That's what I call them.
Yes,
and
sir.
Guys, we're pretty notorious over here. Notorious for doing our thing and giving y'all that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And right here's where I'm going to be at, doing my thing and in your house. Massive things coming up with the Royal Rumble weekend. Check it out. That is the Heart of Indie Wrestling docu-series presented by In Your House Productions. That's going to be great. Stepping out, man. It's going to be great to do that on such a live weekend for wrestling. But you guys know I'm going to be right here, whether it be doing things wrestling media wise or heading over to Emerge Wrestling over there February 8th. They're going to be doing their thing. Emerge 85, Love and War. Paragon will be back in the ring. It's been announced he's going to be going up against Ashton Adonis. first time since his injury and ascent back to the Emerge World Heavyweight Championship. That's going to be going down. Once again, that's Emerge 85 Love and War in Columbus, Indiana on February 8th. Make sure you guys are checking that out. But guys, you already know we're going to do our thing, and that's right here at In Your House, giving y'all that work. And that's right. That's HOWSE, because that W does indeed stand for work. So for Annie O'Neill, for the Chaos Goblin, Kevin Calloway, for the Grunmeister, for Hypocrisy Jones, for the Voice, Josh Joseph, for Relentless Ray Larson, and for the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon, I am Alakan, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Yeah. In your house with Okan. Hey, Okan in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.